30 million people watched Truman take his first step. 200 million watched his first kiss. And when he finally touched the wall of his prison, the entire world held its breath. But here's what nobody understood. This isn't a film about him. This is a film about you. Welcome to 25th Frame. The next 25 minutes will prove that The Truman Show isn't science fiction. It's a documentary about your life in 2025. You're about to learn why you are Truman, why the algorithm is Christof, and why you're already living in Seahaven. Act 1. The Perfect Trap. 30 years ago, director Peter Weir made a comedy about a man whose entire life is a reality show. Sweet Jim Carrey in a pastel world where everyone smiles, the sun is painted, and his wife advertises cocoa right during breakfast. On the surface, a satire about 1990s television, about reality TV, Big Brother, surveillance culture. But 25 years have passed, and the film hasn't aged. It became a prophecy. Because Peter Weir wasn't making a film about television. He was making a film about a world where reality is constructed for you, where you're simultaneously actor and audience, where your every action is content, where you live in a perfect cage and don't even suspect it. Sound familiar? Because you're already there. But before we go deeper, let me show you something most people miss on the first watch. Something that changes everything. The opening you didn't notice. The film begins with direct address to camera. Christof, the creator, speaks directly to the audience. We've become bored with watching actors give us phony emotions. We're tired of pyrotechnics and special effects. While the world he inhabits is in some respects counterfeit, there's nothing fake about Truman himself. Then Marlon, Truman's best friend. It's all true. It's all real. Nothing here is fake. Nothing you see on this show is fake. It's merely controlled. Then Truman's wife, Meryl. I'm convinced we made the right decision by bringing Truman into this world. Wait, bringing him into this world, not having a child, not starting a family, bringing him into a constructed reality. And here's the key. These aren't interviews about a TV show. These are confessions. They're looking directly at you, the viewer, and telling you how the system works. The film opens by explaining its own mechanism, but we ignore it. Because we think it's about him. It's not. It's an instruction manual for how your reality operates right now. The artificial paradise. Let's look at Seahaven. Pastel colors, white picket fences. Everyone waves hello. Nobody locks their doors. The sun rises exactly on time. The weather is always pleasant, unless Christof decides otherwise. It looks like paradise. But notice the details. Every product is branded. Every conversation includes subtle advertisements. Every interaction is optimized for viewer engagement. Truman's morning routine. Wake up, greet the mirror with his catchphrase, drive to work. Chat with neighbors who appear exactly when needed. It's not life. It's a loop. A comfortable, predictable, safe loop. Now think about your morning. Wake up. Check phone. Scroll through algorithmically curated feed. See posts from friends mixed with sponsored content. Watch stories that disappear in 24 hours, creating artificial urgency. Your routine isn't random, it's designed. Every app you open has been optimized through millions of A/B tests to keep you there just a little bit longer. The colors, the sounds, the little red notification dot, the infinite scroll. You think you're choosing how to spend your time, but the architecture chose for you, just like Seahaven chose for Truman. The genius of the name. Let's talk about Seahaven. It sounds pleasant. A haven by the sea, safety, tranquility. But break it down. Seahaven, a place where you are seen, where every moment is observed, where privacy doesn't exist. And haven also means refuge, shelter. So Seahaven is a place where being watched equals being protected. Sound familiar? If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. We only collect data to improve your experience. Surveillance is for your safety. The film predicted the exact language we use to justify our voluntary imprisonment. We traded privacy for convenience, freedom for security, reality for the curated version that performs better. And we call it a haven. The first crack, when reality glitches. The film really begins when a studio light falls from the sky. Truman is walking to work, normal morning, and suddenly a massive spotlight crashes onto the street in front of him. He picks it up, reads the label, Sirius 9 Canis Major. A star, literally. A star from the fake sky fell at his feet. This is the glitch in the Matrix. And watch what happens next. The radio immediately explains it away. An aircraft in trouble began shedding parts as it flew overhead. Instant damage control. The system detected an error and immediately provided a rational explanation. Truman almost believes it. Almost. But something in him knows. Now think about your glitches. The moment you noticed that Instagram showed you an ad for something you only talked about, never searched. The moment you realized YouTube recommendations were getting too accurate, like someone was listening. The moment you felt that weird déjà vu scrolling through TikTok, like you'd seen this pattern before, like you were stuck in a loop. Those are your falling stars. Your system glitches. And what do? You rationalize it. It's just a coincidence. I probably searched it before. The algorithm is just good. You become your own damage control, because accepting the glitch means accepting the cage. The dead father returns. Here's where the film gets dark. Truman's father died when Truman was a child. Boat accident, storm, drowned. Christof killed him deliberately to trauma bond Truman with fear of water. Because water is the boundary, the only way to leave Seahaven. If Truman fears water, he'll never sail away. Genius system design. Don't build higher walls, build internal barriers. But then, years later, Truman sees a homeless man on the street. It's his father. Truman runs after him, but the crowd swallows the man. Actors playing pedestrians physically block Truman, surround the father, push him onto a bus, and he's gone. Truman is hysterical. "That was my father. I saw him." Everyone around him. "You're mistaken. Your father is dead. You're stressed. You're imagining things." Gaslighting. Literal, systemic gaslighting. And here's the parallel. How many times have you noticed something wrong with the system and been told you're paranoid? Social media isn't addictive. You just have no self-control. The algorithm isn't biased. You're just sensitive. Nobody's listening to your conversations. That's conspiracy thinking. The system doesn't just hide the truth. It makes you doubt your own perception. It makes you the crazy one for seeing the falling star. Meryl, the wife who's really a spokesperson, Truman's wife, Meryl, is the most disturbing character in the film. Not because she's evil, but because she's perfect. She's beautiful, supportive, always smiling. She never complains, never has a bad day, and she advertises products. Middle of an argument, she turns to camera and says, "Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococoa drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mount Nicaragua. No artificial sweeteners." Truman stares at her. "What are you talking about?" She doesn't break character. "I'm talking about products I believe in." He grabs her. "Who are you talking to?" And she looks terrified. Not of him, of failing her job. Because she's not his wife. She's a brand ambassador who happens to live with him. Now look at your relationships. How many of your friends' posts are really just ads? Casually drinking a specific brand with the logo facing camera. Organically mentioning a subscription service they love. Tagging brands hoping for partnership deals. We've all become Meryl. We perform our lives for an invisible audience. We turn our relationships into content. We advertise our existence. And the line between authentic and sponsored has dissolved completely. You can't tell if your friend really loves that skincare product, or if they're hoping for affiliate clicks. Just like Truman can't tell if Meryl really loves him, or if she's just playing a role. The best friend with an earpiece, Marlon, is Truman's best friend since childhood. Loyal, honest, always there, except he's an actor. And in the most important scene of Act 1, Truman is breaking down. He suspects everything is fake. He tells Marlon, "Maybe I'm going crazy." Marlon looks him in the eyes, tears forming. "The last man I'd ever lie to is you." It looks completely sincere. Then the camera pulls back. Marlon has an earpiece. Christof is feeding him lines in real time. Even his emotions are scripted. And here's the thing that will chill you. You have a Marlon in your life, not a person. It's the voice of the algorithm pretending to be your friend. Based on your interests, you might like this. People like you also enjoyed this. We thought you'd want to see this. It sounds personal, like someone who knows you, who cares about you. But it's not a friend. It's a script designed to keep you engaged. And just like Marlon's tears, the algorithm can simulate empathy perfectly. But it feels nothing. It just knows what makes you stay. Why Act 1 matters. Most people think The Truman Show is about the moment Truman discovers the truth. But the genius is in how long it takes. 30 years. 30 years of living in a lie before he finds the door. And even then, he almost doesn't leave. Because the lie is comfortable. The lie is safe. The lie is all he knows. And that's where you are right now. You've seen the falling stars. You've felt the glitches. You've suspected something is wrong. But you're still scrolling, still posting, still performing. Because leaving is scarier than staying, and the system knows it. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how deep this goes. Layer 2. Christof isn't a villain. He's an algorithm, and he thinks he's protecting you. Layer 3. Truman escapes, but you won't, and the film knows it. Let's go deeper. Act 2. The deconstruction. Christof, The God who doesn't love you, he optimizes you. Let's talk about the creator. Christof sits in the control room on the moon, literally above it all, orchestrating weather, light, human behavior. He speaks in a calm, almost meditative voice. I have given Truman the chance to lead a normal life. The world, the place you live in, is the sick place. Seahaven is the way the world should be. This isn't a villain monologue. This is a mission statement. He genuinely believes he's protecting Truman, controlling every variable so Truman can be happy. But here's the key. Christof decides what happy means. He decides who Truman befriends, who he marries, what job he gets, when his father dies, when he returns. Truman thinks he's making choices, but every choice is an illusion, because Christof already wrote the script. Now tell me, how is this different from your Instagram feed? You open the app. The algorithm decides what you see, which news, which faces, which emotions. You think you're choosing what to watch, but the algorithm already chose for you. It knows what makes you click, what makes you stay, what makes you come back. Christof controls the weather in Seahaven. The algorithm controls the weather in your head. And like Christof, it thinks it's doing you a favor, showing you what you like, what engages you. But engagement isn't happiness, it's control. Sylvia. The truth, the system tries to erase Sylvia appears for 5 minutes of screen time, but she changes everything. She's the only one who tells Truman the truth. None of this is real. You're on a show. Run. Christof immediately removes her, literally erases her from Truman's life. But Truman remembers. He remembers her face, her words. He creates a collage from magazine cutouts, trying to reconstruct her image. She becomes an obsession, not because he's in love, because she's the only truth he's ever heard. Now ask yourself, who is your Sylvia? It's the moment you saw something you weren't supposed to. Read a book that shattered your worldview. Heard an opinion the algorithm didn't want to show you. It's the video YouTube accidentally recommended, even though it contradicts everything you've watched before. It's the friend who said, maybe you should put down your phone. The system tries to drown out that voice, offers you new content, new drama, new dopamine. But if you remember Sylvia, if you remember the truth, you start seeing the cracks, the fear of water, the mechanism of control. Christof killed Truman's father to instill a fear of water. Why? Because water is the boundary, the only way to leave Seahaven. If Truman fears water, he'll never sail away. This is genius system design. Don't build walls, build fear. Truman keeps himself imprisoned. Now ask yourself, what is your fear of water? The fear that if you delete social media, you'll be lonely. The fear that if you stop watching the news, you'll miss something important. The fears that if you reject lifestyle content, you won't be good enough. The system doesn't lock you in physically. It locks you in psychologically. And you hold the key yourself. Advertising inside reality. The most disturbing detail of the film: advertising is woven into Truman's life. His wife Meryl turns to the camera in the morning and says, "This is the new all-natural cocoa cream. Try it, honey. Truman looks at her, confused. But she continues as if nothing's strange. Because her job isn't to be a wife. Her job is to sell. And here's the mirror. How many times have you seen an authentic lifestyle post from an influencer who happens to show a brand? How many times does a YouTube video start with, "And now a word from our sponsor," and the transition is so smooth you barely notice? How many times do you watch a Netflix series where the main character drinks Coca-Cola so the logo is perfectly in frame? Advertising no longer interrupts content. Advertising became content. Like in Truman's life, you can't always tell where reality ends and the sale begins. Everyone watches, nobody helps, the most chilling scene in the film. A bar full of people watching Truman drown in a storm. They scream at the screen, worry, cry. But nobody goes there to help. Because it's a show. It's not their life, it's entertainment. Now think, how many times have you seen someone's mental breakdown in stories and just swiped past? How many times have you seen someone asking for help in comments and just left a thoughts and prayers emoji? How many times have you watched influencer drama like a reality show, forgetting these are real people? We're all viewers. We're all Christof. We observe other people's lives, comment, judge, admire, but we don't participate because it's content, and content isn't real, even when real people are behind it. Act 3. The Revelation. The finale. Exit to nowhere. Truman sails a boat. Storm. Christof tries to kill him to keep him trapped. But Truman doesn't give up. The boat's bow crashes into the wall, literally into the sky. He stands, touches the horizon with his hand. It's canvas, painted sky. His entire life is a set. He finds a door, stairs, an exit, and then Christof speaks to him one last time through speakers in the sky. Truman, you can leave if you want, but out there's no more truth than in the world I created for you. Same lies, same deceit. In my world, you have nothing to fear. I know you better than you know yourself. I've watched you your whole life. You're afraid. That's okay. But you won't make it out there. Pause. Truman turns to the camera, looks directly at the viewers, smiles, and says his signature line. In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bow. He leaves. The door closes. Screen goes black. The viewers in the bar applaud, cry, happy for him. And then, the security guard changes the channel. Let's see what else is on. And everyone returns to their drinks. This is the scariest scene in the film, because Truman freed himself, but the viewers didn't. They returned to consuming content as if nothing changed. Why you don't leave? Here's the main question. You know the algorithm manipulates you. You know social media is designed to be addictive. You know your life has become content, but you don't leave. Why? Because as Christof says, the world outside isn't better. If you leave Instagram, you won't become freer. You'll just be alone. If you stop watching YouTube, you'll be bored. If you delete TikTok, you'll miss trends, memes, cultural context. The system built a world where the exit is scarier than the cage. because the cage is comfortable, and you've already gotten used to it. Truman versus you. The key difference: Truman left, but he had an advantage. He learned his life was a lie. All of it. Completely. That gave him clarity. You don't have that clarity, because your life is a mixture of real and artificial, real friends and algorithmic recommendations, real emotions and performative content. You don't know where you end and the persona you created for the camera begins. You're Truman, who hasn't found the wall yet, because the wall is invisible. It's inside you. What Peter Weir wanted to say: The Truman Show isn't about television. It's about the human need for control and safety. Christof isn't a villain. He represents all of us. We want to live in a world where everything is predictable, where there's no pain, chaos, uncertainty. We build our own domes, algorithmic bubbles, echo chambers, feeds that only show what confirms our beliefs. We are our own Christof, and we are our own Truman. We're simultaneously jailer and prisoner, and the film asks, are you ready to leave? Even if it's scarier outside, even if freedom means loneliness, even if the truth is worse than comfortable lies. If this breakdown made you look at your phone differently, save this video. Write in the comments, are you Truman or a viewer? And honestly, are you ready to leave the dome? I'm 25th Frame, and I'll keep showing you films that see right through you. Next breakdown is your choice. See you on the other side of the screen.